Alright, hello. My name is Cameron. I have been playing Minecraft forever, but one thing I've never gotten into until recently is command blocks. I mean, I'm a computer, programmer. I'm a computer science major. It's just something I hadn't learned, and recently that changed. Recently, I tried messing around with them, and I found a cool idea online that I wanted to try for myself. The issue was that all the code I had found online it was super outdated. It was for the wrong version of Minecraft, or a different release version, or something like that. It wasn't current. I'm playing 1.15.2 on Java Edition, so I wanted to figure out if I could still do it for myself, and I believe I figured out a great system for that, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Alright, so a couple things to keep in mind. Like I said, this is Java Edition version 1.15.2. To work with command blocks, you need to make sure you're in creative mode. Otherwise, it won't let you place them, interact with them, anything like that. If you're on a server or a Realms world, you're going to want to make sure any relevant command block variables are enabled. So I think on Realms there's a setting where you have to say command block yes, you can use them. Just keep that in mind. If you have trouble, maybe check that out, make sure it's not an issue. Alright, so you only need two items to do this. The first is a command block, and the second is a button. Doesn't matter what kind of button, just any kind of button, so grab that, and then let's go look for a command block. Oh no, it's not there! That was a trick. Can't actually find it in the creative menu. Not fully sure why, but it's just not there. So you're gonna have to use the give command. So /give, just do it for yourself, probably, your username there. And you can start typing command block. It'll have this autocomplete option. If you press the tab button, it'll fill it out. And you can either just enter it like this, or you can say 1, and it'll give you a single command block. So if you do that, then you have a command block, you're in creative, so that's all you need, and you have a button and you're all set to go. So there's one command that you need to run, and then one command that you set up and it continues to run. Actually, I just realized I've been doing an unnecessary step, so you don't even need a button. Ugh, lucky day. Streamlining the process. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is type /scoreboard. So this is kind of my understanding. It's kind of like a database in the world that keeps track of different statistics for the players and the world, and you can add your own kind of variables to it. So we're essentially going to make a variable called death tracker, and we're going to base it off of the death count variable that's already there. And so when any player dies, their death tracker variable, the one that we make, will increment by 1. So if I die, 1. If I die again, it'll be 2. If I die again, it'll be 3. I'll let you figure out how the rest of that goes. But we're going to say scoreboard, objectives, and again you can tap to autocomplete. We're going to add a new variable, and we're going to type in the variable name here. So like I said, I want to call it death tracker. Name it whatever you want, just make sure you use your variable name consistently throughout this process. And like I said, it's based off the death count variable, so you want to add that in there. So scoreboard, objectives, add death tracker, death count. Press enter, and you see we've made a new objective called death tracker. Awesome. It's a little bit tricky to to remember it's there, or maybe to see. So you can actually do another command called go back to the scoreboard, so /scoreboard, objectives, and then you can see set display. So you say set display. I like sidebar, and then you say the variable that you want to be able to see. So we made death tracker. Let's view death tracker. So scoreboard, objectives, set display, sidebar, death tracker, or whatever variable name you put in. So if you press enter, set display sidebar to show objective death tracker. Awesome. But I don't see anything anywhere on the screen. Well, that's because your death tracker is currently at 0. You haven't died yet. I haven't died yet. So it's set to 0. It just doesn't show you it. But if I say /kill, it's just a command that shockingly kills your character or another if you specify them. But you can say this and it's really kind of nice to debug. So /kill, I die, respawn. Oh my gosh, there's a death tracker variable on the side. Whoa! So my character has died 1 time. If I do this again, it'll be 2. Or 3. Like, you know, yeah, you kind of get that. So that means that our variable is all set up, and that's perfect. If you do what I just did and kind of increment your death tracker variable, I'd recommend resetting before this next part. So you're going to want to say /scoreboard. Players reset at all, so at A, which means all players, death tracker, or the variable that you made. So what that's going to do is it's going to reset this variable to 0 for everyone. And so as soon as I press enter, you should see that disappear. And it did. Perfect. So the variable is still there, it's just back to 0. Alright, let's make the body of the system. So we're going to place 2 command blocks, 1, 2. And it's really important that when you do that, they have to be next to each other, and you want to make sure that the arrow on the blocks are pointing like from this one to this one. That's really important. It means that these are, we're going to be able to set this up so that they run sequentially. So this one will run, and then this one will run, and that's really important for this system. Alright, so let's go into this first block. So if the interface seems a little bit much, it's not as bad as you probably think, and I'll try to explain it briefly but clearly. So at the bottom, these 3 options, these 3 buttons, specify if and when and how this block will run. So impulse, chain, repeat. Those specify how often it'll run or kind of when it will run. So impulse means it'll run 1 time. It'll try to do its code and then it'll stop until it's told to do it again. Chain means that if it's in a sequence, it'll run after the previous one. So we're going to have the second block set to chain. You'll see that in a minute. Repeat means it'll try to run its code every single tick, which, don't quote me, but I believe a tick is like 20 times a second. So it's just going to try to keep doing its code, and that's what we want for the first one. So the first block is going to be repeat. And once we exit, you're going to see that it's going to change to a purple block, and that's because repeat is what we chose. Unconditional or conditional just means that if it's running sequentially, if it's running in kind of a, one block, another block, another block, it'll only run its code if the previous block's code ran successfully or not. Unconditional means it doesn't matter if the previous block succeeded or failed. Conditional means it does have to succeed for this current block to work. Unconditional is fine for us right now, so repeat, unconditional, and then always active. Needs redstone means it'll work with the redstone signal, but that's not needed right now. Alright, so now for the command. So we're going to use the play sound command, and then you're going to choose the sound, you're going to choose who hears it, we're going to make sure that it only plays when someone has died, and then a couple, minor settings. So play sound, and then there are 2 sounds I like a lot. I'm going to choose the thunder right now, so Minecraft colon, and I mean there's a huge list, so you can just go through here and figure out what you like. You can click, you can tab to autocomplete, whatever. But I'm going to say Minecraft entity dot lightning bolt dot thunder. I think this is a super cool effect, but again, find one you like. Then we're going to choose master, which I believe is the audio branch it kind of plays on. I'm not fully aware of the differences between them all. If you know, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to learn more about this. Next, we're going to choose who hears a sound and when. So again, at A means all players, so we're going to choose that one. Then you're going to do left and right square brackets. Inside the square brackets, you're going to type scores equals. So this is kind of referencing the scoreboard that we had talked about earlier. And then you're going to do left and right curly braces. So inside of those, we're going to type the name of the variable, so death tracker equals 1 dot dot, or 2 periods, I guess. So what this is saying is it's for all players, if the scoreboard has a variable called death tracker, and that death tracker variable for anybody is 1 or more. That's what the 2 dots mean, the 2 periods. It's kind of like a weird greater than symbol. But if anybody's Death Tracker variable is 1 or more, then you can play the sound. Alright, next we're going to choose where the sound is going to play. If you want it to play kind of from the location of the command block, which is what I personally like, then all you need to do is do caret, 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 which if you're not familiar with it, it's the symbol above the 6, or it's the symbol on the 6 button, on the 6 key. So that pretty much is a relative coordinate, but all it's saying is do it at the location of this command block. If you're familiar with the coordinate system in Minecraft, you can definitely specify and kind of customize, but this works great. And then after this, you're going to choose the volume. So I like doing 100 or 1000. It's not going to be incredibly loud. It's not like the further past 1 you get, the louder it's going to be. 0 to 1 is kind of a percentage of volume, according to my understanding. And then after 1, it's kind of how far away you can hear the sound. Again, if I'm misspeaking and if that's not correct, please let me know. But this is just my understanding. You can put 1000 there. It'll be fine. It won't, blow out your headphones or like destroy your ears. It should just be audible for a long distance. So that's all you need, and then click done. So again, because this is a repeat block, it turned purple. And you see the command was set in the chat. For this next block, we're going to say chain because it's going to run after the previous block. Conditional because we want the previous block's command to have ran successfully. And then always active because we're not dealing with redstone. So as you saw earlier, I did the reset command for the Death Tracker variable. So if you remember, it was scoreboard, players reset everyone, so all players, and then Death Tracker as the variable. So this is just going to reset the Death Tracker to 0 after the sound plays. If you don't do this block, then you're going to have a Death Tracker variable of 1. It'll never go away. And then 20 times a second, this block will be playing a sound. It's super annoying. Trust me. Don't make the mistakes I made. Make sure to have this block in this command. Alright, so that should be everything. And now I guess we just test it. So I'm going to do /kill. You should see me die. You should hear the sound. You probably will not see the variable show up on the right. If you do, it'll go away after I press respawn. But, this should work, so let's try it. Alright, I died. You heard the thunder. Perfect. I respawn, and let me show you something else. So I'm going to repeat this and then respawn really quickly and show you kind of something about the location of the sound. So I don't know if you can hear, but when I moved my head, it sounded like the thunder was coming from, this area, and that's because it was kind of playing from this location. So that's just kind of cool. I thought it was a neat way to kind of showcase that point. And then I guess the last thing I'll do is I'll show you the other sounds that I like. So if you are not a fan of the thunder, that's fine. There is block.bell.use. This is the sound of the bells in a village. When you right click them, it does the cool, bell sound. But if that might be more your speed. That might kind of fit the aesthetic more. It's still kind of cool. It's like a church bell ringing or something. So I think those are both really cool options. But like I said, there's so many different sounds you can use. I mean, if you want to get weird, like you can play sound roulette and just scroll, and then choose one. So lantern.hit. No idea what that's gonna sound like. Okay, it just sounds like you're hitting a piece of metal. Alright, but lots of different options. Explore, experiment, find what works for you. And I hope you have some fun with this setup on a server. I think it's really neat. I loved that I was able to figure out how to do this and make it work for 1.15.2. I think that's all I have for today. So I had a lot of fun making this video, and if you haven't kind of caught on, I'm very new to this. I haven't made videos before, kind of figuring this out as I go. So if you have any comments, feedback, constructive criticism, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to kind of learn and get better if I make more videos. And it's just been a super cool experience and super fun. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.